All right, welcome back to another episode of the SU-JT Exchange podcast, where we fill you in on all that is SU track and field. Today I'm joined with Captain Mason Winslow. Mason, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
And Coach and alumni, Coach Zimmerman. Zimmerman, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. We are going to, run through a quick recap of the Friday night showdown, our most recent meet, and then we'll, get into Mason a little bit of why you chose SU, your experiences with the program. Coach Zimmerman will get into some stuff about, competing post-collegiately with you and just, overall wrap up the weekend and just kind of look forward to next week as well. So to get started, Friday night showdown. This is a meet we host every year where we try to bring in, 7 to 8 schools, good competition, try to get a high caliber meet, high quality meet in a short amount of time. And this year was the same. On the men's side, we had 17 PRs. On the women's side, we had 16 PRs and another school record, which is great. Kendall Sims has done it 3 weeks in a row, which is really cool. But on the men's side, Mason, you're in your first 800 this weekend. Your first collegiate 800. Why don't you share your experience about that with us?
Yeah, it was definitely a good experience. It was really my first competitive 800. I ran a few 800s in high school, but nothing to this caliber. And it was a really fun experience. I got to run with Aaron, one of my teammates, and I was able to use him and also push him at the same time, which ended up being really fun. And I also ran a good time, which was nice. Yeah,
201, really, really good indoor for your first collegiate 800. Not sure how many more you'll do. Really, the goal was to get out there and to push your teammates. The plan was for Aiden to do it, but unfortunately he was sick. So we really appreciate you, stepping up. On top of that, I believe you ran the 60, less than an hour before that, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, how was the time in the 60? It wasn't a PR.
Yeah, it was 7:05, took fourth.
Wasn't not bad. Yeah. But you made finals still, so the range from a 60, to an 800 isn't seen all that often.
Yeah.
Maybe we got you on the wrong event. Coach Zimmerman, you raced the hurdles this weekend?
I did, yes.
The plan was, for you to kind of push our guys, and I think that worked out really well. You ended up running a lifetime best.
I did, yeah.
Which is pretty good. You haven't hurdled in a few months. But yeah, it was good. We'll get into a little bit competing post-collegiately here in a little bit. But overall on the men's side, like I said, 17 PRs, a few in the throws, quite a few in the 800 actually. We had 6 PRs in the men's 800 alone, and then another 3 on the women's side. We talked to Kendall. She broke her school record again for the 3rd straight week, 352. She continues to grow and to develop, and the sky's, no pun intended, the limit for her. And then overall, I think we've made a lot of progress, in the steps of supporting one another. I always think it's easier on a Friday night just because, you have classes all day, and then typically a lot of our student athletes come alive at the nighttime. When you have those early Saturdays, the last few weeks we've been leaving at 5:30, 5 a.m., some of us. So it's a lot nicer to compete at home, families there, whatever. Mm-hmm. But Mason, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, why you chose SU, and your overall experience so far with the program?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Montoursville, Pennsylvania. It's about a 45-minute drive north of here. And ultimately, when I was looking for colleges, I didn't really run track till my senior year, so I knew that track was a possibility, but I really focused on academics and finding what place fit me academically. And once I looked at the business school here, I realized that, since I wanted to go closer to home, this was really the best fit for me academically. And then once I looked at the track program and the success they had and some of the athletes we had, I realized it was just home for me, and that would be a great place for me, not only to study and get smarter, but also become a better athlete.
Yeah, and last year, arguably my funnest year as a coach, as a head coach. You're a big part of that with not only the 4x1, but the 4x4. Obviously you guys were, Coach Zimmerman, you're part of that as well. Mm-hmm. We were All-Americans in the 4x1. Mm-hmm. But what can you share about, that leadership you got from an Elliot Davis, a Ben, Coach Zimmerman?
Yeah. Really, since freshman year, I've had a group of really good leaders. Ben Bulger specifically, just seeing the other seniors that we've had, Brandon, Blake, Elliot, really having those guys around me has really shown me, the truth of working hard, but also being a good leader and being able to talk to people and being the connection between the team and the coaches, and also creating a family. I think the best part, my favorite part about the team is how much of a family we are and how close we are as a team, and how close that the different event groups have gotten. That's really my favorite part of the team.
Yeah, and Coach Zimmerman, you were part of those relays as well. The transition from, being his teammate to now one of his coaches. Can you speak how you've been able to make that transition, and what are some things that might have been tough, and what are some things that have come easy?
I think the hardest thing is that all these guys are still really good friends of mine. Kind of having that fun that we had every single day, kind of have to crack down on that a little bit. You can still have your fun, but when it's time to get serious, you kind of have to, get serious. You can't always have that fun, laid back time. So I'd probably say that was the hardest, was kind of finding that differentiation between friendship and coach.
Yeah, finding that line definitely is tough. What's something that came really easy or natural in the transition for you?
I think coaching as a whole came really naturally. I mean, I've always loved the sport. I've been doing it since 7th grade. Being able to help other people, it's always been, I mean, track's a pretty individual sport. But then once I was able to encompass everything with the entire team, that came extremely easy. I mean, I was always, it was very easy to get individual with track, but now that it's a full team, I find that to be very easy.
Great. And Mason, do you see yourself coaching somewhere down the line?
Yeah, I do. I haven't really thought that far, but I definitely like helping people and seeing people progress. I feel like I'm one of those people that likes to train hard, but also push the people around me and likes to kind of coach and help in any way. So I would definitely consider coaching down the road for sure.
Yeah, my coaching tree's growing quite a bit. Julia Acevedo was here this weekend, and she's coaching at Montclair now, which I didn't know until earlier in the week. But it's cool to see, Brandon come back and Chloe come back, and we've had a lot of alumni, Coach Goodspeed, people that have come through the program under, my, I guess, whatever era or whatever you want to call it, and to have them come back and give back to the program means a lot, because I know when I came in years ago, we changed a lot, and these are the people that were part of that change and the catalyst, to become the group that we are today. Coach Zimmerman, you're still competing. In December you put together a heptathlon still. This past weekend, like we mentioned, we had you hurdle to kind of push, Carter and Calder and some of those other guys. How do you do it? How do you continue to motivate yourself, to continue to want and to keep yourself together, I guess?
I mean, honestly, so my initial plan was I wanted to join a club team. I wanted to keep competing to kind of push myself to be a part of a club. Fortunately, everything that I kind of had planned fell through. A lot of the stuff you need to meet, and it's pretty far away, so I wasn't able to do that, especially with teaching. So I kind of just, as a coach, I know that I need to help the other athletes around me. And for me, the best way to do that is to go out there and compete with them. I still felt okay. I mean, I felt like I could still keep up with the young guys, and so I thought might as well go out and try it again. It seems to be working so far, so maybe down the line I'll continue to do it.
Yeah, I think you'll learn that as you continue to progress, the recovery time takes longer.
Yeah, I definitely woke up Saturday, day after the meet, and I wasn't too sure if I'd be able to walk that day. I mean, before doing the multi, I felt that often, but after doing one event, you wake up the next day, you feel ready to go. It wasn't like that this time. Definitely not.
All right, well, let's fast forward to this coming week. Last time we competed home before champs. Mason, you might have a couple weeks. We might send you up to Bucknell to run the 200. What are some goals we have for ourselves and for the program, Mason, as we look forward to the next few weeks going into champs?
Yeah, I would say my goal for the next 2 weeks personally would just be to improve upon my times, whether it's 400, 200 relays, whatever they got me doing. I would like to move up, at least improve a time in a 400 and maybe even move up in the 200, move up my standing, put me in a better spot seed-wise for the conference meet. And then really as a team, just get the morale continuing to grow, get everyone more excited, more pumped up, especially having a home meet now, knowing we'll be only 2 weeks away from champs this weekend. It's gonna be electric, and we just need everybody to keep pushing and continuing to progress.
Yeah, that's a big point of emphasis for me, is to continue to support one another and create your own energy. I say that a lot. It's very easy early morning track meets for it to just be flat. And if you're a thrower going in the circle at 10 a.m., that throw counts the same as if it would at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So creating your own energy, supporting one another. It's a pretty large meet. We've got about 17 to 18 schools coming in. We do have some limitations in the event, so they won't be huge, but a lot of good competition. Teams we don't see all that often. I know Carnegie Mellon's coming. The coach called me today. They're bringing about 50 people. They don't usually come. I know IUP's bringing more of a full squad. And then, your normal, your familiar faces with, the Leb Vals, and I think Scranton's coming this weekend in those schools. So we're excited. I think it's another weekend to work hard to get improvement on that list, as you said. But some of these people, they got to take advantage of their opportunities because they're running out, and that's something we got to continue to stress, to the athletes and to the team. But some fun stuff. Mason, where's your favorite place to compete?
Oh, man. I would say either the Armory or Nazareth.
Nazareth.
Naz is a nice track, yeah.
Okay. And Coach Zim, what about you?
Naz, 100% Naz. I mean, it was my first nationals was at Naz, and then I've always feel like I've competed the best at Nazareth with their track, their jumping pits. It was always the best for me.
Now that's indoor for both. Is there a certain spot outdoors that we prefer, or is that for both all around?
I liked here.
Yeah, here's nice. I would also say Moravian. I mean, every time we go there, we just lay down some good times, especially that 4x1 last year. It was super fun. Number one time in the country when we ran it. It was really electric.
Yeah, it is always good times when we go out there. We do tend to perform well. It also might be, it usually ends up being the first meet that's actually warm. Yeah. Last year was a little bit of an exception with our first JT meet. It was like 80 degrees and windy, which is really rare for end of March. Mason, what's your favorite pre-meet snack or meal?
Oh, man. Probably meal would be Chipotle. A nice protein bowl was good. And a snack, probably just some sugar, probably some gummies.
Okay. Coach Zim?
I love a pasta. Meal-wise, I love eating pasta before a meet. I love the carb loading usually beforehand. Snack-wise, probably the same thing, either gummies or like a Gatorade protein bar.
Okay.
I eat those a lot. Yeah.
Those are pretty common staples in our food bin.
Yeah.
What about post-meet? Coach Zim, what do you prefer?
I'd eat just about anything. We got pizza a lot, but probably the chicken parms we would get in between the multi.
The sandwiches,
chicken parms, those chicken parms were amazing. I loved them.
Mason, what about you?
Post-meet, probably a nice pasta dinner, or just a sub, a nice sub.
Yeah, whatever you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Mason, if you had a message, I know you have a brother who's a senior and a younger brother too. If you had a message to send to, a high school junior, high school senior as they're looking for colleges and interested in track, what's some advice you might give them?
I would say don't just focus on the whole Division I. I want to run Division I, or I want to run Division II. Look at what all a school has to offer, and look at the facilities, and look at the people that are there, and look at the opportunities that Division III has, because ultimately I don't think I would have had a better experience anywhere else than Susquehanna.
Yeah, and Coach Zim, what's your most memorable experience as a Susquehanna track and field athlete?
It's either got to be, I'd probably say champs outdoor last year, especially during that 4x1. That was probably just the entire stadium. I've never heard a stadium go so quiet when you were waiting, because it was down to the wire. I mean, it was a photo finish.
And the infamous track, or the baton spike.
Oh, that's phenomenal. I loved it. He sent it to me the next morning, and I woke up laughing. It was awesome.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll have to go back and watch the replay. There's an infamous baton spike after the 4x1 that gets me every time. But I appreciate you guys joining me today. That'll wrap up our time. This has been the SU-JT Exchange podcast, where we fill you in on all that is SU track and field. Please like and subscribe, SusQXETF on YouTube, and we will talk to you next time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.